Galen. We are now in the Netherlands. Till now, we're almost at the end of the season. Do you have any more races on the program?
Rieti would be the last one. Hopefully I run a 3K there, and it's always a really fast track and fast race, so it should be a great way to end things.
How has your season been going?
It's going real well. This year was all about getting ready for the World Championships next year and then the Olympics in 2012, and we learned a lot of things and changes we need to make in my training to get me better for those races. And I PR'd at almost every distance this year, so it was a real successful year.
Which distance which PR are you the most proud of for this year?
I don't know. I mean, anytime you PR, it's good. So, I ran 13:07 for 5K and then 27:10 for 10K. So I'd say those two are probably the biggest ones that I'm most proud of.
Yeah, that 27:10 for almost 9 years. There's an American record, and and then two guys go below.
Yeah, no, it was great, and especially Chris being a teammate and stuff. It was cool to have us go 1-2, and in terms of Americans, and yeah, it was a great race all around.
And now in Europe, the 3K. Yesterday you did a session. What were the times and what session did you do?
Yesterday we did a 1200, 800, 400, and we ran 257 for the 12 and 155 for the 800, and then 53 for the 400. So it was a real good speed workout. It's good to have Alan working out, and we just kind of feed off each other, and it's a real good training dynamic.
And Rieti, what are your plans?
Just to hang in there and be competitive. I think that it's always a fast race every year, and so you don't really have to worry too much about it being tactical or slow. It's going to go out hard, and so it's just about staying relaxed and then being able to compete at the end.
Your times are like, if you start from 3K, it's getting better, and 5K is really good, and 10K is really good, but the distances below, they are, if you would look at them, they're kind of like for distance runner that, but for if you would see them like I think 150 you have in 800 meters. When did you know that you were an athlete for longer distances?
My coach from the start told me that I probably wasn't quite fast enough to be a miler, and that 5K, and as we started doing more and more training, 10K we realized was going to be my best event. So I've always had a little bit of a gift to be able to go a long distance, and fortunately I have pretty good speed too for what I run. We're constantly trying to work on getting faster at the bottom end, because ultimately when you get faster at those races, it's going to help you when you run 5 or 10K too. So that's something that we continue to work on. But yeah, I'm definitely a real distance guy at heart.
Was it always also that right away long distance is where your heart goes out?
Yeah, I mean, I can remember even just running with my mom growing up in the park by our house where I grew up, just going for 3 or 4 mile runs in middle school, and I just always enjoyed it, just being out there. And sprinting was fun too, just because it can be a little more competitive, and it's usually what the younger kids all want to do in the U.S. is be the top sprinter. So you still did that with your friends, but I always really enjoyed running for long distances.
What's your strongest point?
You like my strongest race?
For you as an athlete, your part as maybe mentally, maybe sprint, maybe discipline.
Yeah, I think I've just been blessed with real good mechanics, and I've been real fortunate not to get hurt very often in my career, and never had anything major. It's always been small things that we've been able to deal with, and just having a great coach and great support system from day one, and just having a lot of continuity, and we've been on the same training program. I've only had one coach since I started running, so I think that having that same program and being able to build on that year after year after year has been a huge benefit for me.
Do you automatically believe what Alberto is telling you when you have to do a training program, or is there sometimes some discussion?
Every once in a while, he'll explain to me, why we're doing something, or I'll ask. But for the most part, I mean, he could tell me to do anything, and I got 100% confidence that, that's the right decision, and that's what I need to do to get better. And I think from day one we had a real good relationship with that trust that I knew he always has my best interest at heart, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure that I get to where I want to be.
What's the point you got out of, if you look back at this season, what's a point you learned or what you got more experience in?
I think just learning that I need to do a lot more strength and volume. I just compared to a lot of the other runners I'm running against, they're doing a lot more miles and just strength work than I am. And we've always taken a real long-term approach and not done stuff too quickly or tried to rush into doing a lot of miles, because you definitely can get some short-term benefits by doing that, but you run the real risk of getting hurt. And so we've been real careful to take things gradually, but I think we're getting to a point now where I'm just going to have to start making those jumps more and getting stronger, and that's going to help me a lot. And then also just doing more stuff with short recovery is another big thing that looking back, we've never really done any of it since I started, and so that's definitely another big hole in my training that we're going to fix in the years to come.
Do you know some numbers? What the other runners run and what your mileage is?
I'd say I probably average around 80 to 90 miles a week for big groups of training, and I definitely need to get over 100 and you always hear things about certain guys and you never really know if it's true or not, but if I had to guess, I would say that most of the top guys are running 110 to 120 miles a week, so that difference of 20 to 30 miles can be a huge difference in terms of strength, and you just got to keep building up to that and not do anything too drastic, but you got to start working towards that more.
What kind of practices are your most favorite?
I like doing short intervals and long intervals too. Doing 400-meter repeats, are always fun, and mile repeats we do a lot of too. So I'd say those are probably two of the big workouts that we do.
Which ones are the ones that you say more?
I never really like doing tempo runs and just long intervals. So on the grass, that was what Alberto's big on, making us run on soft surfaces, and definitely like the track more because you get a little more back when you hit down, but it's good for me, and it definitely helps with strength, so just got to keep working at it.
What result from an athlete impressed you the most this season?
I think just what Chris Slinsky's done over the course of the year has been the most impressive thing that I can think of. He's just been to run under 13 minutes 3 times, and he's just so consistent, and then obviously had a great 10K. He's had a heck of a year, so I'd say that's the one that sticks out in my mind.
He's training in the other group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you sometimes train with him?
Mostly on easy days. Every once in a while we'll run together, but hard workouts, Jerry's got his program and is going to do what he's going to do, and Alberto's got his, so we kind of stay a little more separate in terms of the hard interval workouts.
Rio is your last race. What's going to happen after that?
After that, I'll go home. I'm getting married in September, and so it's go kind of shift gears and focus on the wedding more. My fiance's been great, and she's taken care of most of the planning. But we have a few last-minute things that we need to deal with. But I'm just looking forward to being home and being back with my family and friends.
Galen Rupp is also going to get married in October. So September, October, are that the wedding days for athletes?
Yeah, I think that's always, traditionally that's the end of the season, and where the best time I think most people take a break is, and there's no competitions, and so I think that definitely a lot of the athletes, and even just talking to people around that I see, the ones that are married, they're all September or October weddings. So yeah, that's definitely the time that most people do it.